Hi, this is Gina Backus, and I am now an official Ultimate Reset graduate. I finished my program yesterday. It was day 21. Today is day 22, which is why I am wearing what I'm wearing. I just finished working out with Shaun T in my basement, and typically they ask you to do about 50% effort during that first week just to get you acclimated and back into the swing of things. And so I didn't really break a sweat. I will say that it's pretty tough to do 50% and not still put in a lot of effort when you're doing insanity. So it was great to get back into the flow of things. Obviously, I can tell I've been off for a while, but it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So the last week of the Ultimate Reset, so it's phase 3, and I would say the biggest challenge was probably the mood thing. So what I found interesting is kind of eye-opening is that we all have these comfort foods when we're stressed out, and none of them are good for you. I don't think anybody grabs a carrot if they're stressed out, and if they do, then they probably are way better off than I am. But mine was chocolate or something sweet, which is probably typical of most people, either that or something fattening or potato chips, whatever. But you have to find different ways to cope with that stress instead of grabbing some chocolate. And either that you have a tendency to take it out on your family, or in my case, well, I did. I probably took it out on my family. I'm not someone special who didn't. And I also went for walks. And as a matter of fact, I'm sure my family was really happy when I decided to go for walks, and I'm surprised they just didn't lock me out of the house maybe a couple days a week last week. Who knows? But so that has been interesting. That was an interesting thing to realize. But there's two things that I haven't mentioned about the Ultimate Reset that I think is really important to share with you. First of all, the support system that's built in with the Beachbody program is outstanding. So on Facebook, there is a group for every phase, and you want to join that group for every phase because you want to help experience with others who are dealing with the same thing. You can share your experiences. You can help them. There are Beachbody staff that come on that answer questions if anybody has any. It's amazing, and I can tell you that from looking at some of the comments from each phase into the next phase and the third phase and being done, that support was vital for them because they needed people to keep encouraging them and keep moving them forward. There were some that said, "Why did I do this?" And by the end of the program, they were so happy they completed it. I mean, really, it is quite an accomplishment to be able to, change a lot of your eating habits to become a much healthier eater and be much more aware of your body. So that's the second thing I'm going to bring up, and that is that just because you don't have an allergy does not mean you do not have a food sensitivity. So allergies are pretty obvious to us. We decide that allergies make us feel really bad. Either we break out or we have a really bad reaction. But food sensitivities are a little bit different. You might have an upset stomach or just not feel altogether great. You don't feel horrible, but you don't feel great. And now that you're done with this Ultimate Reset, you know what your body's supposed to feel like. So the process afterwards is that you add additional foods gradually. So right now we've eaten fruits and vegetables mainly with just a few little grains like quinoa and brown rice. So we want to gradually add back, beans and legumes and meat and eggs and maybe even wheat. Now, and then of course dairy. Now I can tell you I have a guess of what my food sensitivities are, and it'll be interesting to see if it's actually true. And probably the worst thing I did today was have a piece of chocolate cake. I told you it's my craving, chocolate cake or chocolate, and it tastes great, but my body was not happy. And one of the ingredients in that is wheat, and I'm always curious if that's been a food sensitivity with me. I drastically cut back on wheat. Doesn't mean I've cut it out of my diet, but I think my body does not enjoy wheat. So we'll see how that works. But so those are two really important things. If you are feeling sluggish, if you're in a plateau, it's this is really worth doing, honestly. You learn so much about yourself, and you learn so much about nutrition that it really is worth it. It changes my whole view on, a lot of the foods. I ate fairly healthy before, but I also know that I had a sugar addiction. I can say it. I'm addicted to sugar. I was addicted to sugar, and I'm gonna take it a 21-day program to hopefully get me off the addiction of sugar. I haven't missed other than chocolate cake, but I think it's really important for people to start listening to their body more, instead of thinking that, oh, that's just normal. It's just a little bit of an upset stomach, it'll go away. That's not normal. Your body is telling you something. So if you have any questions about Ultimate Reset, please feel free to contact me at ginabackus00@gmail.com, or you can go to my website ginabackus.com and fill out the contact form. I would love to talk to you. Best of luck.